November 8th, 2021. From El Cajon, California, this is episode 244 of You Can Bet On That. Hi, everybody. Welcome to You Can Bet On That, a podcast for the recreational gambler. My name is Mark Duvall, and sitting across from me is Dr. Mike.
Hello.
Oh, Mike, our sports bets have just been so terrible lately.
Yeah.
About a week and a half ago, we had a fantastic Saturday, and we're all jumping around like, ooh, we can quit our jobs. We'll just be sports bettors. And it has been terrible since, oh my gosh, yesterday.
Yeah.
Your college games were bad. My pro picks were terrible. I lost some big money on favorites, and NHL's just been terrible.
Yeah, it was weird. There were not so many upsets in college football yesterday. There were a few big ones.
Yeah.
But there were more games where like a team's favored by 28, like Alabama, and they end up winning by 7 or something. They couldn't,
Yeah.
I mean, they were in threat of losing that game early. There were several games like that where teams just didn't play. I
And
don't
then
understand it.
You bet on a couple of underdogs. There was
Yes.
one game where you had like 40 points. It was like plus
That's
40.
the one I won.
So,
Because they scored 6, so they had 46, and the opposing, they scored 43. So
Yeah.
we won that game.
yeah. Well, whatever. We don't spend very much money on sports betting, so
No.
we can kind of, sit back and just whatever.
Yeah, it's kind
Ready
of
for the next
for us.
day.
It's more fun
Yeah.
than anything else. But
And college basketball starts this week.
right,
I'm gonna.
the Aztecs have a game Tuesday. I saw.
I stopped betting it last year because it just seemed like it was too hard. I don't know if it was COVID related or teams not playing in their home courts or whatever.
Right, it was.
I decided what I'm going to do this year, Mike, is just bet less. I'm going to still bet on college basketball. I'm just going to bet significantly less. I'm not going to bet as much as we do on pro.
Oh yeah, okay.
All right, so
Yeah.
that's how it's going to go.
That's fine with me.
Okay, good.
Honestly, it's just, if there's even one game that we're watching that, we have a few bucks on it, then it's kind of fun.
Yeah, it makes it a little more fun.
come on, that kind of thing.
Yeah. So just to remind everybody, Dr. Mike picks all the football, pro and college.
Right.
And then I do everything else. So
last year I did really well.
Yeah,
on
you
that.
did, yeah.
And this year, I'm sure I'm below 500.
Oh, it's got to be, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out after the show, and I'll send you an amount and
send me a
record.
spreadsheet. Can you send me a spreadsheet?
Oh, of course.
I love those spreadsheets.
Of course I can send you that, Dr. Mike. Thank you for asking. Wow, I'm excited now.
You got something to do today.
Well, we got an email from listener Doug. He said, here is a little system I started this year, and for me, it's working out really well. I go to the casino weekly and take $1,000 to gamble with, strictly craps. I also get about $150 in free play each week. Before I hit the casino, I leave $150 at home and take $850 to the casino plus the $150 free play. So I still have $1,000 to gamble with. Okay, pretty straightforward there, right? Okay. I take the $150 I held back and put it into a special savings account I set up at the local bank. I do this adjustment every week so that in the past 10 months, I have built up a pretty nice balance in the savings account. It is equal to about 40% of my casino losses. So in effect, I converted the free play into a loss rebate. Now, whether if you actually look at the numbers, is it really a loss rebate? Well, it doesn't matter because that's the way that he's thinking of it.
Right.
And I think that's a great way to do it psychologically. For those of us who maybe need to fool ourselves,
right,
in a way, right, as to where the money is going,
right? Sure, because you feel like you played with $1,000, but in your mind you're thinking, yeah, but it only cost me $850,
right? Yeah,
so.
Yeah, it's kind of like rat holing chips at the table, right? It's like, oh, okay, now I see in my rack I've got $350. Well, what you're forgetting, is that you put $200 in your pocket, right? And that's kind of a psychological
thing. Yeah, I'm not going to touch that until you leave that table losing, and you go to another table and pull that money out of your pocket and play there,
and lose that.
And lose that. Yeah, it's all psychological.
Yeah. We know how the story ends.
Yeah, right, exactly. I like it. I mean, it's good for him. I'm glad he's doing well at that. However, for us, we'd have to take $150 out for gas to get to the casino.
Yeah, that's true too, right?
That's our problem.
Just put it into a special account that is only used to pay off, the
gas card.
The gas card, yeah.
Right.
Got another email from listener Mike. He says, I was at Seneca in Niagara over the weekend, and I heard a couple of terms I'm unfamiliar with while at the craps table. First, there was a player who had bought the 10, collecting or pressing at times. However, at one point, a 10 rolled, and he said to flip it. I wasn't paying enough attention to his bet to recall exactly what the first amount was. The dealer grabbed some green chips, placed them on top of his bet and the buy button, flipped the stack over, and finally took the old bet back and put it in the bank. The player didn't receive a payout or pay a vig in the transaction. I can't remember for sure, but the new bet was anywhere between 75 and 125 in greens. Even the boxman commented on how he hadn't heard that term in a very long time. Now, Mike, you and I, we haven't heard that term.
No, but just hearing your explanation there, it sounds like when you bet $35 and you're going to press it to 100 out at Harris.
Yes.
Because it pays 70. So your 70 plus the 35 is 105 and the VIG is $5. So you obviously have a $100 bet. Instead of saying, just press it all, you, I guess, could say flip it. I haven't heard that.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Right. Again, 35 buy bet on the 10. It pays 70.
Right.
Right. So your total then that you have on the table is 105. If you just say, buy it for 100.
Yeah.
They put the 100 there. The 5 is a VIG. You don't have to give them anything. They don't give anything to you.
Right. They'd pay the 70 and just flip the thing over.
So I'm thinking what the dealer did was took $100 in green chips.
Yeah.
Put it on top, like he said, on top of the bet and the buy button. Flip the whole thing. Remove the $35 bet. The buy button's still there. So, that sounds like something similar.
Something similar to that. Yeah, we don't know what his denomination was exactly. But, that's probably what happened. And that's a common move, right? You do it all the time.
Yeah. If any dealers are listening, and next time we go out, too, we'll ask, hey, have you ever heard the term flip it? Well, we never have. Mike goes on to say, second, I got on a fairly good roll at one point, and another player started making three-way prop bets. Whenever he made one, though, he would say, don't tell the shooter. The dealers would repeat the phrase, and the roll would continue. At one point, I asked the stick woman, but she responded with, we're not talking, or don't worry about it, as if staying in character. I assume this meant that the bettor is retaining control of the bet, and could press or parlay it on my behalf. Curious to know if I was right. I guess, that's what it seems like.
Well, I say that all the time. Don't tell the shooter.
Okay.
Kind of like, I'm making a bet for them, a three-way bet. He's making a bet for himself, the dealers, and the shooter.
Right.
And don't tell the shooter because I don't want to put pressure on him. You know how people sometimes you bet for some shooter.
Yeah.
You're putting pressure on me to make that now, Well, don't tell them so they don't think there's any pressure and they'll hit it.
Yeah, like if they've got $1 for them, here's another thing too, for the shooter, and it hits, you don't want them to collect.
Right, no.
You say, thank you, Dr. Mike. Yeah. I'll take that $15. And you just say, no, there's no bet out there for you.
Yeah.
Just staying in character, like you said.
Press it up.
Oh, that's good.
It's just one of those superstitions that, if someone knows they're like a small roller and all of a sudden you put down a $25 hard eight for them, that they're going to win $225 on, you don't want them to know because it's it's too much pressure for them.
Yeah, that is true. Sometimes I see people making bets for the shooter where they'll tell them, you're on the hard eight, shooter.
Right.
And other times
they don't want to
in this example where you won't tell them. Yeah, nice. Hey, thanks to everyone who's been clicking through our Amazon link. Remember, whenever you're going to buy something through Amazon, please go to our page first, youcanbetonthat.com, and click through our Amazon link towards the top of the page. All right, let's move on to voicemails. First up is Doug.
Hello, Mark and Dr. Mike. This is Doug from the DFW area, and I want to talk to you about my recent trip to Laughlin, Nevada. It was a charter flight from Caesar. I got to Laughlin Wednesday night, leaving early Sunday morning. The best thing about these charter flights is that they pick up my checked-in luggage and deliver it straight to a hotel room. It doesn't arrive until an hour later, so everything essential I have to carry on my own personal bag. The area has about 8 casinos, all of them on the Colorado River, except for the Tropicana, which is also owned by Caesars. There's one casino that's way south from the rest, the Alvey Casino, which I did not visit. Harris is the southernmost part of all the casinos. And so there's a free shuttle that runs every 2 hours between it and the Trop. At the Trop, most of the other casinos are within walking distance. Also, there's a water taxi that stops at every casino on the river costing $5 per ride. It's a really good system, and the only problem is there's a swarming gnat that's in the river area around dusk. Fortunately, they don't bite. I mainly play table games, including craps. My crap session were really bad, only having one winning session. But then again, I only buy in like $200 at $5 or $10 tables. With the table games, not our casino has them open 24 hours. Some open at noon, some at 2 p.m. Harris is the only one that I've seen where they have it all open all night. I did see $5 craps table on Thursday, but they all went to 10 by Friday and Saturday. At the Aquarius, which is one of the largest casino, they have Twist on Carnival game, and they changed the name. It's included 3-card and 4-card poker. They also have a credit card machine on the table, but I didn't try to get any money from it because I know it's going to be a big interest charge. The northernmost casino is Don Laughlin's Riverside Casino. This is also a big place, and it seems to be a local favorite. The town is named after Don, and he's still alive. I've never been to a place named after a person who's still living. Also, at the table, they have a clicker that they dubbed the liquor clicker, which is used to get the server's attention. I thought that was pretty ingenious. All in all, even though I lost a lot, I really enjoyed the trip. It's a kind of like a mini Vegas vacation. Caesar has offered me the same trip for Thanksgiving, and I plan to do it again. Thanks, Mark and Dr. Mike. Love your show.
All right. Thanks, Doug. Yeah, remember those clickers they used to have at the table?
That's a throwback to the old days.
Yeah.
Remember back in the 80s, every casino would have clickers.
Yeah,
and they click. Now they played music so loud, I think in most casinos, clicking isn't. They'd never hear it.
Well, I don't know. I wonder why they do get rid of them. So, these clickers, really what they were like children's toys.
Yeah, right.
Remember you had them as a kid just to make noise, just to be annoying.
Noise,
yeah,
right. Yeah. and the cocktail waitress would hear it. Someone needs a drink over there.
They should bring those back.
But they won't. It's too loud in the casinos, Mark.
I don't know.
I mean, not all of them, but a lot of them play music loud enough.
I guess.
Planet Hollywood, for instance, I'll just use that.
Well, okay. Yeah, you're using one of the loudest casinos as an example. But
it's got music and there's tons of people. I mean, the loudest, I think, is downtown.
Sure. Like Golden Gate.
Golden Gate, they're playing the music so loud, a clicker. I mean, you'd never hear that.
Yeah.
I think it should be a flag system.
Okay.
Where the pit boss has certain flags that he, waves above his head. And they're always looking for flags, like green flag, I need it now. Get over here with the thing.
Right.
And red flag, this guy's a douche. Take your time.
Right.
Yeah. Something like that. Some kind of flag system.
Okay. They need something because at least out at Harrah's, the drink service, it's inconsistent, right? And there are times where we wait 2 hours. And I'm not kidding, 2 hours and nobody has come by.
And other times they're coming every 10 minutes.
Yeah, right. And then the pit, all they do is they get on the phone. And I mean, that usually does help, but still,
I don't know who they call.
I'd like a clicker. I want a clicker back or a flag, whatever you need. That's the thing. I'm going to try to find one because, again, they're sort of a thing of the past. Let's find some clickers. We'll take them.
I'm sure we can get it in any, Walmart kids section.
I don't know, Mike. See, you.
I'm a little out of touch.
Yeah, you are.
I'm a little out of touch. I'm stuck in the 70s, actually. But we got to be able to find a clicker.
All right, that's our goal. We'll
Come on, they didn't get rid of clickers. Okay. Carburetors, sure, they're gone. Clickers still have to be here.
All right, we'll find one, I'm sure. Boy, if you had asked me, is Don Laughlin still alive? I would have said no. I didn't realize it. Yeah, so he's 90
only
years old.
90. He's younger
only
than my
90. Yeah.
Well,
younger than your dad. Great. That's nothing against your dad, but you could say that about virtually everyone.
Yeah,
well, he's younger than Mike's dad.
That probably encompasses about 99.999% of people left in the world. Have you ever been to a city where it's named after somebody who's still alive?
Not that I can think of.
Yeah, I can't think of anything offhand.
No, yeah.
I got to get a city named after me before it's too late.
Yeah, you better get on the ball, Mike.
Maybe that's another thing I'll work on.
Okay, clicker and getting a city named after yourself.
Yeah, and those are all coming after hitting a royal flush, winning the football pool, and making sure every casino is named properly.
You know what you should do, Mike? So Harrah's, Southern California is in a town called Funner.
Yeah.
Okay? It's not like an official incorporated city or anything.
Right.
But the casino, they were able to actually get the town named Funner.
Right.
You frequent it quite a bit, Mike. I think you could probably petition them to change it from Funner to Stephanitas. Yeah, I think they'll be able to do that.
You think that's it?
Yeah, I think they could do it. Yeah.
I'll try that.
Okay, good.
I'm going to push for that. I'll get a clicker and I'll just constantly click until they do that.
That's right. You want me to stop clicking?
Yeah.
Change the name of this. All right. Next call.
How's it going, guys? This is Asher calling from New Mexico once again. They just opened the first roll to win craps table here in New Mexico. So I, first in line for that. All the dealers are real new and real green, but it was really fun. It was really cool how it keeps track of your rolls. I bought in for $100. I ended up throwing 19 rolls, and I noticed that once you get past, I think it was 9 rolls, the table lights up. Either shows fire or it shows like a whole sky of stars. I eventually 7'd out after the 19 rolls. Everyone at the table didn't really know what was going on or how to play, and the dice ended up coming back to me, and I rolled again 19 rolls back to back. So it was crazy. I ended up leaving the table with a little over $700. So had a real great time. Just wanted to give you an update and let you guys know. I appreciate what you guys do on the podcast and keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, those are a couple of fun things about the roll to win tables. Fun graphics.
Yeah.
And I think it turns into like a hot shooter with fire and graphics, I think after like the 8th roll, something like that.
And then a lot of them have bonuses for, I bet you can make on how many rolls. And if it gets to a certain amount, you get paid bonus money.
Yeah.
And it goes up to some maximum amount. That's kind of fun. The other good thing about roll to win, I think, is nobody can see what you're betting. So you could be betting, $150 on a 6, or you could be betting $1.50 or whatever the minimum is.
Yeah.
So that's less intimidating for people. I've noticed out at Harrah's when I see people over there, it's people who, are kind of unsure of themselves, but they can go play. On a regular table, they feel kind of weird because they don't, like if everyone else was betting $50 and they're betting, $5. There's
No, you actually, the bet is represented on the big display, but there's no value associated with it.
Right. It's friendly.
Yes.
For people. So I think
and it keeps track of rolls too. That's fun. You can say exactly, I rolled 22 times.
Yeah, because how many times on a real table have you turned and said, God, he's been rolling a while. I wonder how many rolls, Some people do track that.
Yeah, right.
They bring their little pad and write down and everything. But most of us don't.
No.
One good thing about roll to win too is I like no swarming gnats.
Yeah, no swarming gnats that I've seen anyway.
Yeah, maybe some listener will have some.
So that is nice, yeah.
Yeah, and swarming. I like that they're swarming. What does swarming mean?
It just means there are a bunch of them together. It's not like just one gnat going by. It's like a swarm of gnats. What do you mean, what does swarming mean?
An organized or organized swarm?
Well, it could be either one.
Ooh.
It could be either one.
So they should say unorganized swarming or organized swarming.
I guess.
Where they're like all in coordination.
If that's important to you.
Yeah, like in that Star Trek movie where they were in coordination and then they played loud music to screw them up. Remember?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah.
Good questions, Mike.
That's what I thought of when he said swarming gnats. I thought, it's like in Star Trek.
All right, next up is Matt.
Hi, guys. This is Matt from Pennsylvania. About 5 months ago, I was playing Ultimate Texas Hold'em on DraftKings Casino. It's live dealer, and they have just the regular side bet with the trips bonus. Had a $5 bet with $1 on the trips bonus, and we got dealt pocket aces. No big deal. Flop came down, 2 high spades. Turn and river came, and it hit the royal flush. I had a $5 bet out there, so I went 4 times. So for a $31 bet, paid out $2,606. Still kind of shocked right now, but kind of crazy because the next hand started right away. There was no stop down. There was no nothing. They didn't have to review it or anything. And pretty much everyone on the table was going nuts in the chat. And the dealer was just shell-shocked because she had been talking about never hitting a royal. But it can happen even on the live dealer casinos. Thanks for all you do. Have a great day.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Online, live dealer.
Right.
So, I mean, some people don't like playing online because they're thinking, is something going on with the software?
Yeah.
The live dealer at least takes some of that doubt away. And here's a great example of a nice little win. And Matt even sent us a screenshot of the actual win.
Did you notice on that the live dealer was wearing a mask?
Yeah, I did.
And I for a second, I thought, is that live or is that a video thing? And they're just, making it like up to date, like she's wearing a mask, like in a real casino.
Yeah.
but then it says live, and you can kind of tell it's live from the picture. But why would she wear a mask?
I don't know. Maybe she's next to other live dealers as well, and that's just the policy,
like in a room with a bunch of people.
That's the only thing I could figure.
Maybe I just thought, well, there's nobody playing there. They're all online.
I was thinking the same thing.
She's afraid of a virus,
that's right.
Computer virus.
I certainly hope Matt was wearing a mask when he was playing this online game.
Fully protected, I hope.
All right, next call.
Hi, Mark and Dr. Mike. This is Tyler from Biggleswade in the UK. Long-time listener, first-time caller, or should I say voice noter. Firstly, I just wanted to thank you guys so much for the podcast that you put out. It keeps me thoroughly entertained during my long work commutes. And also, I'm forever grateful to you guys for introducing me to the world of craps, which is a game I absolutely love. Every time we go out to Vegas, we just can't get enough of it. Unfortunately, we don't get to play it as much over here. There's only sort of 2 or 3 tables across the UK. And yeah, it's just not really the same sort of vibe over here. My question for you, however, today is about blackjack. Now, this happened at a UK casino, but it'd be interesting to know what would happen in this scenario in Vegas or at any other US casino. So I'm at spot 3 on the blackjack table, and there's one other person on spot 4. I'm showing 16 and the dealer's showing 4, and I stand, obviously, because I'm 16 against 4. And now the dealer accidentally hits me, and he hits me with a 10. And I said, sorry, I said stand. And he said, no, you're right, you did. I apologise. He then took that 10 and put it face down next to him. Now he comes onto spot 4 and they also say stand, so that's fine. So then he turns over the card next to his 4, which is a 3. So he now is showing 7. He then proceeds to take the turn down 10 and put that on top of his 7 to make 17. Now, I don't know if it's just me. I was thinking that 10 would be burnt. I didn't know that he would then just be able to use the 10 now that everyone at the table's seen it, especially the person in the 4th spot, who I assume would have a massive advantage knowing what the next card is. I kick up a bit of a fuss and say, is that right? Can you use that 10 after we've all seen it? Shouldn't it be burnt? And they said, no, it's the rules of blackjack. They don't have to burn that card. They can put it on top of theirs. They can use it. They can use it to win the hand. That's absolutely fine. I just wanted to get your guys' thoughts on that because I thought it just seemed a little bit dodgy. I'm not really sure if that is in the rules or if they're just sort of pulling a fast one, really. But yeah, if you guys could just let me know what you think about that, that'd be great. Thanks again for the podcast, guys. Much appreciated. Hope you're both well. Muckle shoot!
Yeah, thanks, Tyler. Well, it's certainly not in the rules of blackjack, right? The way that this happened.
I've seen it both ways. A lot of times the dealer will automatically call a pit over.
Well, that's what exactly what should have happened in this situation.
And then the pit will decide, do we burn that card?
As soon as the card had been revealed.
Right.
No more action after that. Agreed.
Right. That's when you call over and you actually say to the pit, hey, he signaled he didn't want a card. I mistakenly turned it over. Mm-hmm. And the pit, I can guarantee you 95% of the time probably say just burn it. Because it's not really fair to anybody.
Especially in Tyler's story where there's still another player to act.
Right.
Yeah. And in this situation, who knows whether or not the dealer is getting a free roll out of it?
Right.
Right now, I'm not accusing the dealer of anything here, but you know, what if instead of turning a 3 over, he had turned over a jack, so now he's got jack 4.
Right.
And then he says, oh, this 10, this is burned. And then he takes a card off the deck, right? That's like a free roll for the dealer.
You can't make the decision afterwards. It has to be made up front, basically.
So we can't tell you exactly what would have happened at a Vegas casino. It's going to depend on the casino. It's going to depend on what the floor rules that kind of thing. In any case, no, we're not happy with the way this turned out. This doesn't make sense to us at all.
And if no pit was involved, this is what it sounds like, that's a huge mistake right off the bat.
Now, we can't speak to UK casinos, but it seems like
I don't know. Maybe in the UK
maybe there are rules like this. We don't know.
Maybe the Gambling Commission has set a rule like that. That has to be the way it is. But here in the United States, I don't think there's a rule. And
it doesn't make sense to us. No.
Yeah. The other thing is, there's not a lot of craps in the UK.
Yeah,
unfortunately,
right. Only a few tables. So.
It's just funny how in the Asian casinos.
Or like in Macau
and stuff. Craps is not huge. There's craps,
but it's much harder to find.
It's much harder to find than if you want to play baccarat.
Sure.
and it's funny because why baccarat's big there. I think in the UK, roulette is much bigger, right?
Well, just in Europe in general, right? Roulette is bigger. It's all cultural, right? You know what? And craps has sort of been an American game during the war, the military. You know, the guys would play craps. So
something you could play in a tight space or something, right?
Right.
Yeah, and you don't need much. Couple of dice you can keep in your pocket versus a roulette wheel. It is so hard to get one of those on your back and carry it around.
Yeah,
and then you got to balance it, and it's a hassle.
It's terrible. I mean, it would be hard in today's military to do it.
Yeah,
let alone World War II. Those guys lugging a roulette wheel around, France.
Although they could play baccarat. I mean, that's just a deck of cards.
Yeah. Another good point, Dr. Mike. All right, next call.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike. This is Austin from Orlando. Just listened to your latest episode. Glad you guys are back, and Dr. Mike is starting to feel better at least. I just wanted to call in because you were mentioning casino showers and how important they are. The Hard Rock Casino in Tampa has hands down the best showers I've ever been in a hotel. They have the best water pressure I've ever seen. They get hot as a sauna. So they're perfect if you win and want to go relax, cool down, or if you lose, they even have like a little bench so you can just sit there and wallow in self-pity. And then there's also a ledge you can put a drink on if you also need a drink to go with your wallowing. Anyways, they're fantastic. The Seminole Tribe pumped so much money into that resort over the past couple of years. I would put it above anything in Vegas. So I just wanted to let you guys know if you need a good shower, come to the Hard Rock in Tampa. Anyways, I will be going on a cruise this weekend, so I'm curious to see how the cruise line casinos are doing in this COVID time. If anything's interesting, I'll call and let you know. If not, I'm also going to be in Vegas over the weekend for the Great Gift Wrap-Up at Caesars, so hopefully you guys can make it out for that, and I can come meet you. Thanks for all you do. Bye.
Yeah, so the second weekend of December is the Great Gift Wrap-Up. The third weekend is Zorkfest. Will we be going to either one, both, neither? We don't know.
Yeah, both is out.
Okay.
I'll tell you that.
You're not going to go 2 weekends in a row.
Both is out.
But it'll depend on you, so we're waiting for you to...
That's very much up in the
all right, stay tuned. Stay tuned. Yeah.
We redid our shower quite a few years back in our master bathroom. Mm-hmm. And the people before us had a large jacuzzi type tub. Mm-hmm. We took that out and we put in a huge shower.
Yeah.
I mean, we could comfortably fit 5 or 6 people in the shower at once if we wanted. Mm-hmm. That hasn't happened.
Okay.
So far, 2's the max. But
well, I think that's too much information, to be honest with you, Dr. Mike, but continue.
Our daughters, when they were little, taking shower.
Just move on.
Anyway, we made sure to put in a seat.
Yeah.
And there's 2 shelves, so you can put stuff on. And actually, there's a lip around the door you could even put stuff on if you wanted. So it's nice. And I appreciate the lip. I've been in showers in hotels that have nowhere to put the soap.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And it's like, you open some soap and,
you're trying to balance it.
Yeah, you're trying to where do I put this? Yeah. I don't want to just throw it on the ground because I may have to use it tomorrow.
Yeah, a seat and a shelf. Yeah. That's the dream, isn't it?
A seat and a shelf.
Man, it's especially in Vegas.
It's funny how the little things are important in life. Air, water, toilet, shower.
Yeah. Well, I bet the pioneers didn't have shelves and seats in their showers.
No. They didn't have toilets.
Oh, yeah. All right, next call.
Hey, guys. Want to give you an update from Florida. This is Sonny from Sarasota, Florida. The Hard Rock app is alive and well as of November 1st. Sports betting is now legal. First bet wagered, first bet won, first withdrawal a success. So everything's legit down here in Florida. It's a monopoly. And then the craps games and roulette coming mid-November at the Hard Rock in Tampa. I've been playing bubble craps all this time waiting for this to happen. And my buddy plays rather large. Hit $500 bets, bumped up to $600 bets. Did $600 DC, and they stopped the game because it's a $12,000 hit. So they stopped the machine to get the information and paid him out in cash. He does this 3 times in the night. Every time they shut his console down, for a good 20 minutes for someone to come over and write all the information down. So apparently this bubble craps is treated as a slot machine. Very interesting stuff. First time seeing that. Anyways, great podcast. Love it. Keep it coming. Peace out. Bye.
Yeah, thanks. Depending on the jurisdiction, how the casino interprets what a shoot-to-win craps game is.
Probably state law in every state, right?
But, you know,
there's a gaming commission.
I would think, though, it's open to interpretation because this is a federal form, the W-2G we're talking about, right? Where it's $1,200 or more on a machine.
Right.
So should it apply to shoot to win? Does it apply to shoot to win? It's probably open for interpretation, but a casino, just to be safe, is probably going to issue one, right?
Yeah, here's my thought. Bubble craps is not a machine.
Yeah.
And here's why. Because in a slot machine, everything is predetermined by a computer versus bubble craps where those dice pop and they're bouncing around. I mean, they don't take the same bounce every time.
No.
And the person who's in control of hitting it when they stop, you know, it's not the same every time, right?
Yeah.
So someone can hit it and it stops. And so there's a randomness in there that's not controlled by anything.
Well, you know, I don't know, though, that argument has anything to do with the law.
Right.
Because slot
Maybe.
machines haven't always used computers.
Right.
You know, back in the 70s, when this $1,200 limit was established, there were still slot machines that were random, quote unquote. You know, they weren't using computers, but the spins were random.
More random,
right?
yeah. Well, the thing is I just look at it like this. Okay, your bet is all on a computer, but the actual dice roll is not.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, as random as you can get without somebody picking up two dice and throwing them.
I understand, but there's nothing about computers in the law.
Yeah.
Right? You know, and
well, it's a gray area.
I'm not pretending like I know the answer. Right. I'm just saying.
I assume it's a gray area, and I'm sure if you fought that, you might be able to win and say, no, I don't have to pay taxes on that.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, my first thought when he's saying it is, oh, great, his terminal shuts down for 20 minutes while they're paying him.
Yeah.
I assume all the other ones are going and the game's continuing for everybody else.
Right.
So he's just sitting there like, oh, great, you know, and the next guy's having a good roll. I'm missing out on this roll because I got to wait for some attendant to come and pay me.
Yeah, that wouldn't happen in a real craps table.
No.
So, sports betting has come to Florida. Now, the only way to bet is through the Hard Rock app. Right now, that is it.
Monopoly.
It is a monopoly, right? Yeah. But it is there. So I can't imagine that the lines are going to be very good. You know, when you've got a monopoly like that.
There's nobody offering a different line.
Let us know, Floridians, you know, what you're seeing as far as lines go in the app, and is it working, and is it a good deal? Let us know.
Now, I wonder why they would limit it like that.
I haven't been following it enough. I know this was kind of was very quietly rolled out. You know, there wasn't a lot of fanfare behind it, but yeah, I'll tell you, when it comes to gambling, the politics of gambling in Florida, oh my gosh, it's crazy, right? It's all over the place.
And worse in California?
I think it is worse in California because at least it's active in Florida. Yeah. Here, we're not doing anything.
No, right? That's ignored.
Yeah, so. All right, let's hear from our good friend Melanie.
Hey, Mark. Hey, Dr. Mike. This is Melanie from Colorado. Just wanted to let you know about a cool thing that we're going to be doing on November 18th out there for a visit at the Encore, friend's birthday. So at Allegiant Stadium, the UNLV Rebels are going to play your San Diego Aztecs on November 18th. Tickets are $40 on StubHub. Even in the lower level, I think we're in 132, which is at the 40-yard line. It's got a club section, so it's got its own private bar. Not private, but a bar for that section. Anyway, I've been super excited to see the stadium, and I did not want to pay a huge amount of money to watch my Chiefs get crushed by the Raiders. So I'm really excited to be able to see the stadium for $40. Amazing. So check out the UNLV schedule. I think they're 0-7, but I don't care. It's football. And it's at Allegiant Stadium. I can't wait to see the Roomba. Anyway, it's sure great to hear your voice, Dr. Mike and Mark. I'm so glad you guys are back doing the podcast. Really enjoyed it this week. I will report back in November because I'm sure we'll get into full degeneracy on that trip. When we went for EDC, we ended up not gambling at all, not even a little, just because we were out all night and pretty much slept all day. So anyway, enjoy the show. Thanks, guys.
Wow, went to Vegas and didn't gamble.
Yeah.
Now, I realized, it's for EDC, but still.
Well, did she not gamble, period?
That's what it sounded like. She said
Sounded
not at
like
all.
that, but I mean, it seems like she would have stopped somewhere.
Maybe going to EDC is its own gamble. I guess that could be. But, that's actually a really good idea. If you want to go to Allegiant Stadium to see it, and you don't want to pay too much, going for college football, that's a good idea, right? There aren't too many opportunities left this season, but that is one way to go rather than go to an NFL game or a concert or something like that.
Let me just give you the real reason to go to see the Aztecs and the Rebels besides the stadium, because the Aztecs have a punter who is unbelievable.
Okay.
He's the reason to go. I am not kidding. The guy is averaging over 52 yards a punt on the season.
All right.
That leads all of college football.
Yeah.
It also leads all of the NFL.
Nice.
He would be the longest punter in the NFL. The guy is a weapon. Not since Ray Guy for the Raiders way back in the day have I seen a punter this good.
All right, so you kind of shoehorned that in there as like a reason to go see them, when really you just wanted to brag about the punter on stage.
I did want him to brag about the punter because he's great. He deserves it.
Yeah.
Ariza, I believe, is his last name.
Okay, yeah.
And he kicks the field goals too.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Okay, good.
He's got a leg. He's got a real good leg.
Very good.
Anyway, he's a reason to go to that game because the UNLV Running Rebels are not a reason to go see.
Well, see, but maybe that's not a reason to go because maybe they won't be punting much, right? The Aztecs, if they're playing a team as bad as UNLV, right?
Maybe. Yeah, hopefully once at least he'll have to punt.
Yeah.
It's the Aztecs, Mark.
No, that's true.
Every game close.
They make it a little tougher. And then, sorry, Melanie, about your Chiefs this year. Yeah, it's a rough year for the old Chiefs, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with them.
Whatever.
Do you know that they have not covered a sports bet, I believe, this year?
I think you're right. Even this last one where they won, they didn't actually cover. Yeah. And we saw some stat, I don't know if this is still true, where they had turned over the ball on 24% of their drives.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Right.
Oh, my God.
And last year, it was like on the low end. I don't know if it was a record, but it was one of the fewest turnovers in a season for an NFL team.
Yeah.
And this year, I don't know what happened to them.
Yeah.
And that's why betting's been so hard for me.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Next call.
Hey, guys. Jackson, Phoenix, and wanted to call. My wife and I went out to Las Vegas last month, and while we were out there, went to Binion's and came across a new game on the floor, which is always interesting. It was called Ricochet Poker. I gotta say, this game is not gonna last long. If you check out the YouTube video, I think the creator shows how to play the game, but the gist of it is, first off, everybody has to bet the same amount at the table, which, right away, how do you get an entire table to bet the same amount? Anyway, everybody gets dealt 2 cards face up, including the dealer, and then once everybody has 2 cards, the dealer finishes off with 3 more cards to give them a 5-card poker hand. The action will start on the player that has the lowest hand showing. So right away, as a dealer, you have to bounce around and figure out where to start the action. And you can choose to match the original bet to get 3 more cards. If you beat the dealer, your cards stay up and the dealer's hand gets thrown away. After everybody has established whether they want to play or not, there's only 1 hand remaining. And that player wins the entire pot, which means that they win most of their money from the other players. And they have to put up 2 units for every 1 unit the house puts up. It was a weird game. We played 1 hand of it. We won $5, but that was plenty to get away from that table. Afterwards, looked up the rules to it, watched the video on it. Really, really bizarre game. Anyway, loving the show. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one.
Yeah, back in 2018, the Wizard of Odds went to the table game conference in Las Vegas, and he made a bunch of videos. He would go around to the different booths and, ask questions about the games and make videos. And whenever there was a kind of an interesting game, I thought, that'd be good for the show. In fact, there were a few episodes that we did where I talked about games based on the videos that Wizard of Odds had put up. Well, Ricochet Poker was one of those games. And I actually thought it was a pretty interesting game. But I also thought, it's too complicated to explain on an audio podcast. And even if you heard, his explanation here, it's like, okay, it's much easier to understand if you can see it, and see what's going on. But I also agreed, I didn't think it would be a game that would catch on.
No, it doesn't sound like it.
Yeah, it's, first of all, people don't understand. You have to teach them. And then they have to want to play after, playing the first hand at least. And this didn't happen here, right? It's like, I don't, right? And plus, since you're playing against other players, people who might enjoy this game are just going to go play poker anyway, right? They're just going to go to the poker room.
Well, and it's on a casino floor, not a poker room. So you might be with like 3 of your friends and you all sit down and play. And then it's like, well, I'm just winning money from my friend.
Yeah, right. It's not like everyone at the table can win. Like it can happen in blackjack or pie-out poker. Right. Yeah. So
it's not friendly. It's not... I mean, it could be friendly. It's like playing poker at home, but when you're in Vegas, that's not what you're there for, right?
Yeah. So it is interesting. I encourage people, if they're curious, to just do a search on Ricochet Poker and look at some of the videos. But yeah, it's not going to catch on. All right. One last call from David.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike. Good to hear you guys back on podcast episodes again. Glad that Dr. Mike is feeling well. Quick question for you. We were walking around Cosmo playing some penny slots, and we were short a couple cents for one last spin. None of us wanted to put another dollar into the machine itself, but I noticed that one nearby had like 30 cents left on it that someone had left there. I cashed that out, we used that for our spin, and then I ended up doing that a couple more times in the casino. My question for you is there any legal ramification for me doing this? Can I get in trouble for doing this? Thanks, and again, glad to hear Dr. Mike is doing better. Bye.
Thanks.
Yeah, you can get in trouble for doing this.
Technically,
It's not your money, and it's not really even technically the casino's money.
Right.
It's whoever left it there. So depending on who sees you do it or the jurisdiction or whatever, you could get in trouble. You could even get arrested for something like that. What I usually do, because every once in a while you'll go to a machine, there's 10 cents on it or 3 cents. Somebody didn't even bother to cash out, right?
Right.
What I will do is I'll cash it out and then take the ticket and just put it on top of the machine. Just leave it there if I'm going to play that machine.
Yeah, I've seen quite a few on top of the trash. Not in the trash, but on the lip around it, for 10 cents, 15 cents. Somebody just leaves it there so somebody else can pick it up and use it.
Or I'll see people even leave it at the cash out machine.
Right.
I don't want it. Right,
it's not.
But technically it is not yours, even though it is like somebody's forfeiting it whatever they're doing. So, we would recommend not doing that. Even though, you probably can find, a few cents here and there.
Yeah, and they're probably not going to
They're probably not going to be, but there's a very famous case about a woman who found a nickel in a machine.
Right.
And they back-roomed her, and it was this whole big thing. She, got hundreds of thousands of dollars out of a settlement. So, stupid things can happen like that. But technically, it's not.
I would hate to spend a night in jail and have to go through all the hassle of, getting out of jail and getting an attorney and all this and that because I took, 20 cent slip of something. You'd be thinking the whole time, it would just be, you'd be mad at yourself like 20 cents. What the hell was I thinking?
Yeah, why did I need the 20 cents?
Right. It is stupid. And they should change that to a minimum. It should be some law enacted where it's like, well, if it's under $5,
well,
you can take it,
no, they make a special law for that. No, then suddenly, people are.
Oh, we don't make a lot of laws in this country.
Well, wait, you're suggesting, but you're suggesting it. Is that what you're suggesting, Dr. Mike? Well, more laws?
No, I'm thinking that since there are so many anyway, why isn't that one? Why isn't somebody?
Somebody will get around it, right? And suddenly, they're breaking it up into, $1.50, $1.25, right?
They're cashing out every dollar. Right. They go up to the cashier with like 800 slot slips. She's got to scan each one of them in. Okay, sir, here's your $4.50.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. We want to thank some people for some recurring PayPal donations. The Color Up Craps YouTube channel, James, and Kurt. Thank you very much for those recurring donations. We also got a PayPal donation from listener Tom. Thank you very much. Hey, be sure to check out our TV listing showing all the gambling-related shows coming up within the next 2 weeks at youcanbetonthat.com/TV-listings and our list of gambling-related movies at youcanbetonthat.com/movies. We'd love to hear from you. Call our voicemail hotline at 951-292-4377. That's 9512-WAGERS.
9512-WAGERS.
Or you can email us at youcanbetonthat@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Twitter at youcanbetonthat and on Facebook at facebook.com/youcanbetonthat. Finally, please go to your favorite podcast app and write a review of the show. We love getting your feedback. Got something for us here at the end, Dr. Mike?
Well, Mark, I always thought that when I retired, I would just spend my hours of each day in some poker room somewhere playing poker for small stakes and just, having fun and then, do that 2 or 3 times a week to make time
You see a lot of guys doing that.
You see a lot of guys, some guys go to the golf course and golf 3 times a week. So I thought, well, that'll probably be me. Mark and I will be sitting in some casino playing. And I've changed my mind on that.
Right.
I'm going to write sternly worded letters to certain institutions. And that's what
I see a lot of old men doing that too, Mike.
Right. And that's what I'm going to spend my time. I'm going to start this week by writing the NFL a sternly worded letter on why the Chargers are playing in Philadelphia in an afternoon game.
Okay.
And Kansas City is playing in Green Bay in an afternoon game.
Okay, so by afternoon games, you mean the late games, 4 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Pacific.
One of them's 4:30. The Kansas City game starts at 4:30 Eastern. Why? It just doesn't make sense to me, and that's going to be my complaint to the NFL, because now I've got those 2 games on the TV at the same time, and I have to, tape one of them because I want to watch both.
Okay, so just to give an indication of how old Dr. Mike is getting, not only is he going to write this sternly worded letter, I'm sure it's not even email, it's really a letter.
It's a letter.
He just said that he's going to tape one of the games. All right? Just want to give an indication of how old this guy's.
Record one of the games.
So, yeah, it is weird. Why? Because daylight saving just ended today, right? So now it's going to be dark at those games.
It gets dark like at 5.
Yeah. So I don't know why they. Maybe they just want a certain number of early games, certain number of late games. I don't know. They
make some dumb decisions in the NFL.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a fact. Okay, that's gone back to the very beginnings of the NFL.
Yeah.
And this is just another dumb decision. You, when you retire, are going to run the TVs in casinos.
Yeah, that's all I'm going to do.
To make sure that the casinos are on.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get the NFL squared away.
Okay.
I don't have time right now because I've got a life and a family and work and everything. But when I'm retired, I'm going to run the NFL, Mark.
Okay.
And you're going to see some changes. There won't be stupidness like this.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm looking forward to that, Dr. Mike. I've got faith in you.
The NFL owners, pay attention. After getting about, 2 million sternly worded letters.
Yeah, I don't know that all the NFL owners listen to our show, but those that do, hopefully they heard.
I'm available.
All right. Thanks for listening.
Good night.
Okay, let's thin this herd. Untucked shirt, no thank you. Born in San Diego, yikes. An adult named Todd? So this is what online dating is like?